Hello everyone, welcome back ladies and gentlemen across the world. This is Prestige Worldwide, it is PWW, and of course it is the Catalina Wine event, Catalina Wine Mixer event rather, for this round number 3 at the Canadian Grand Prix. Myself, Jota, here for this particular event here, and I'm looking forward to being alongside you for this one. We have 18 drivers all ready and raring to go. We are here for Q2 in this event. Of course, all the drivers getting themselves ready for what will be a very intense qualifying session. We are here in the dry at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and obviously with Q2 starting, 3 drivers knocked out of Q1. It's now an opportunity for these drivers to get themselves ready and raring to go for their choice of what tyre to start on on the grid if they get through to Q3. Laser Williams of F4A Crispy then getting owned away at the moment as he's just sort of lining himself up now. Obviously lining himself up for a very, very intense Grand Prix, the Canadian Grand Prix circuit, Gilles Villeneuve. Usually the bringer of some intense races, of course, especially when you get through to that final set of corners heading through into the Wall of Champions. But he is heading through turn number 1 and turn number 2 at the moment. Is the number 68 Williams, but getting a little bit wayward through there. Keeps it steady though, does Crispy. A little bit of a front left lock up though as he heads through. 6, 7 into 8 and then through into 9. Hairpin at 10 coming up now. Of course, got to be careful here in the race because, of course, there's your DRS detection point. In the first corner we saw Robert Kubica in the BMW Sauber have that enormous incident. So much debris all over the circuit. Thankfully okay. To get himself sort of set up here in this Q2 session. He is on that medium tyre, so we aren't expecting him to be set in World Championship laps. He'll come across the line beating Lil Joker though in the Ferrari by 4/10 of a second on that medium tyre. Lil Joker sitting in the Ferrari. Here's the dude, El Dolorino, sir. Nice to see you again. Number 2 Alpha Tauri. With his DRS open, heading down that back straight. Of course, going to be keeping a very firm eye on this particular corner here, because this is where a lot of drivers will be making and breaking their laps, either by track extending or by spinning. And then in the race, expect a little bit of tight action through there. Heading through though into the hairpin. Keeping his head firmly set on trying to get up there. Looking at sort of crispy lap times here. Of course, he is on that soft compound of tyre, expecting to do the inverse strategy, medium to soft, usually the faster strategy. Very, very far away from the Wall of Champions. There's a little bit more time to be had in that final sector. Straight up to P3, beating Joker by 3/10 of a second, but still only in the 1 minute 10s. It's an opportunity to talk about the prizes that PWW have handed out here at the Catalina Wine Mixer event. And Perondi absolutely flying high at the moment. $35 he's earned since starting here in the Catalina Wine Mixer. $20 had gone to the driver who actually came top of Q1, Mods SC boy. Done $20 so far, with Bailey earning $15 himself at the moment. Bailey currently down in 12th place at the moment in the Alfa Romeo, yet to set a lap time. But so far, Red Bull earning the most amount of money out of all of them so far in this Catalina Wine Mixer event. $51 in total at the moment, so absolutely flying high is the Red Bull outfit. as regards the prizes, and still plenty of events to go here. After this round we do have another 9 to go, so plenty of money to be earned here from a lot of these drivers. On board with Luciano in the Ferrari here. He's not having a bad little season so far as well as Luciano. A little bit of a up and down races, but overall fairly solid performances here, and I think this track will be one that will work in favour for him if he can keep that consistency going. Yet to set a lap time though at the moment, currently in P8. And here is your arguably fastest driver, championship leader at the moment. It is the Haas driver of Peronde, the VRL Brazilian runner. Going to be, I'd say, reasonably happy at the moment with his performances. The Brazilian driver, as I said, earning the most amount of money so far in these events, $35 in total. And the Honda power unit in the back of the Red Bull for Silkweaver in the medium tyre as he's about to get started with his lap. Very well taken through that final corner. Arguably so far so good at the moment for Silkweaver as he just keeps it nice and tight on the apex through 2. Give a little kink of 3 as he heads into 4. Try and not cut the corner too much, but don't leave so much space that you compromise your entry through 5, through 6 into 7. Very well taken through 8. It's a very solid lap here on the medium tyre actually for the Red Bull at the moment. DRS wide open now as they head through into 9. And then flick it left into 10. Such a free-flowing circuit. If you get this one right, you can earn so much time and so much respect as well. Hairpin of 11. I expect a few overtakes to be done here. Myself actually making a double overtake actually in a realistic league like on F1 2020. Double overtake actually. Don't want to flick up my collar and just suggest I'm quick because I'm far from it. Unlike these drivers, absolutely flying high at the moment. We're a bit conservative, you'd have to argue, going through the wall of champions, but 5th place for Silkweaver with a 1 minute 9.9. He'll be fairly happy with that one. It's a solid lap time, and his teammate on a hot lap as well, but on the soft tyre, so inverse strategy happening for Red Bull at the moment. The team earning the most amount of money so far in this campaign. As I said, over the last couple of rounds, Red Bull earning the most amount of money, $51 in total. Oh, he's taking a lot of curb, in fact too much curb. He's invalidated his lap time. Expecting a lot of that, unfortunately, because it will not be working out well for SC Boy in that particular scenario, as he off of the circuit at the moment. I think to just sort of trundle around the circuit now after making that slight mistake, but it is an unfortunate scenario because of course if you do track extend at the Wall of Champions, you do end up compromising your entire next lap as well, because you end up losing, of course, the next lap. You obviously gain an advantage from taking a lot of speed whilst track extending at the final corner. Hopefully Alfa Romeo won't have a similar issue. Actually very well taken through the Wall of Champions now as Bailey comes across the line now on the soft tyre, 1 minute 9.6. He just tucks in front of Silkweaver and just behind Lord Gamer in the Aston Martin. Nice to see Marie back as well. She's in the Alpine here looking to get her season really underway after what was not the best Bahrain Grand Prix. Good qualifier, just didn't have the race pace. She struggled a little bit. The better Canadian Grand Prix is coming for the Alpine driver. She'll head through now the Wall of Champions to get herself going in this lap. With the medium tyre strapped on, looking to try and get into the top 10. She'll come across the line and get going right now. We're looking to keep it steady. first sector. Missing the apex ever so slightly and taking the wider exit. She'll be handy for as she heads through turn 4, because of course, I get that one too wrong, she'll be straight into the wall. Very well taken. Heading through now over the sector 1 intermediate time. It's 19.5 for her at the moment, so not too bad. Looking comparative at the moment with around about Silk Weaver's time, actually in 7th place at the moment. We'll see how she does in the second sector. Actually not too bad, missing the apex. Oh no, she clipped it ever so slightly, so she's got turn 11 nailed. If not with a little bit of a lock-up. DRS open. SC Boy goes across the line, takes the fastest lap of this race after this qualifying session, rather, after the slight issues that he had. There comes Marie now through the final set of corners. Very well taken, actually, as she heads through the wall of champions. Comes across the line now, and she goes to 9th, 109.7. I think the loss of time in that second sector didn't help her out, so she's on the cusp. And at the moment, Silk Weaver certainly at the cusp at the moment in 10th place in a moment, and only half a tenth, exactly half a tenth behind at the moment is actually Little Joker, who's now on a lap again to have another go at this. Actually on a cooldown lap at the moment, actually, by the looks of things, and we'll have another go straight away. Other drivers need to keep an eye on as well. The ever consistent No Limit, No EQL looking to try and get himself going in this Aston Martin, but he is a man currently struggling at the moment. It's a very intense Boxing Grand Prix, actually, for the Aston Martin, who's actually pile-drived it into the wall on his own accord. Not the kind of behaviour you'd expect from a driver of his calibre, but perhaps invalidation has just frustrated him enough that he's pile-drived it into the wall, and hopefully not going to block too many qualifying laps. He'll be starting in P15. Here's the Alfa Romeo of PWW Thor. On the soft tyre, 1 minute 11.0 at the moment. Correct me if I'm wrong, Thor, but he's a driver just trying to get used to no assists. Of course, this is the Catalina Wine Mix event hosted by PWW. No assists used. This is a man still just trying to get used to the setup of no assists. But so far, a very good turn 1, turn 2, actually. He's looking to try and get out of the 1 minute 11s at the moment, trying to at least get into 1 minute 10s. Bare minimum, 1 minute 9s is what he's going to be looking for, especially around about the 1 minute 9s. We'll look for a 195, and you think he'll be okay. I'll tell that to Lord Gamer at the moment. He'll be watching firmly over his shoulder at the moment. Here comes Thor, then he's just now heading now through to turn 11. Now Romeo looking very strong through there, actually consistent on the brakes very well. A little bit of a wiggle going out. C-Boy retires from the session. 9:01, 153 for him. Crispy just tucks him behind. Same lap time. He did do it 1 lap later, so he takes 2nd place in this session. Very well taken wall of champions here, though, for Thor. It's going to be interesting to see if he does manage to come out in front of Marie here. He does improve into the 1 minute 10s, but he needs to find at least another second if he wants to be safe through to Q3. So this is his one and only shot left now. And of course, we'll monitor his performance as we watch other drivers around the field trying to get going here. Luciano looking to cut a load of corners to try and get another lap in. 20 seconds, he's got time. Definitely bought himself enough time after that one. His teammate, Little Joker, just tucking in behind here, so he's going to make sure that he doesn't get in the wake of his teammate too much here. Otherwise, it's going to cause him issues here. Oh, me, just had a little bit of a lag spike there. So we thought we were going to pile drive into the wall, but he is okay. Little Honda just heading through turn 5, 6. Oh, that was 7, 8 actually, because this is 9 and that's 10. Joe does it 11 actually, does Weaver. Needs to Keep it steady if you can, and he does exactly that. Thor doesn't improve in the end. The dude does, though, but not enough. He's actually been knocked out on the medium tyre with a 1 minute 10.055, so only one man left in this one to try and beat Marie, who herself is on a lap, but that's straight into the wall, and I'm sure Sil Weaver's going to be disappointed with herself here. He comes across the line, and he is slowing down before he gets to it. So I think tactically, he'd rather be in P11 here, because he's going to have the option to start on any tyre he wants, and that might be a tactical call here. What it does mean, though, is Marie is through to Q3, so she'll be happy with that one. She now enters the pits, and she starts on the medium tyre as well, so she can get a good qualifying position here. She's in a prime position on that medium. Bailey and Shazam both starting on the softs. Clips is starting on the softs, and SC Boy, surprisingly enough, also starting on the soft tyre. It's not a tyre you'd expect someone in the top 5 to be going for, but he has, never mind pole position, but he's gone for it. He will be on the weaker strategy, you'd have to argue, but he is on the front row alongside Crispy, who sets exactly the same lap time on the medium tyre. Arguably Crispy looking very sharp actually in that Williams. He did set that lap time second though, so that puts him in second place. The American Danny Rick in the Alpha Tauri puts him with a 1.92. He's actually only just over a tenth behind both SC Boy and Crispy, so good lap from them. 10th and a half behind is the Canadian. At his home race, it's Clips with Perondi in 5th. A little bit down the order for the championship leader. Luciano in 6th with Lord Gamer in 7th and Shazam in 8th. And the South Korean Bailey in 20, earned quite a bit of money so far in this event. The Alfa Romeo in 9th place. Marie, she starts in 10th. Well, she managed to get 10th rather, and she'll be heading through into Q3, I think, with a smile on her face. Silk Weaver knocked out at his own accord, chose not to improve his lap time. He feels confident 11th place will be a good place for him, with Little Joker also out alongside El Duderino and Thor. We'll be heading through to the qualifying 3 session very shortly. It'll just give us another time to actually have a quick look at the situation as regards of the prize money that's been awarded so far in this Catalina wine mixer event. There's Haas making some good money as well. Perondi's managed to make $35, Haas in total $44. So obviously that means $9 going to his teammate, and Alfa Romeo earning $24 themselves as well. Good work from them indeed. A few technical issues just starting to develop by the looks of things, as we are waiting on a few drivers currently stuck at the moment. We've got Mers and Silk Weaver at the moment currently struggling with a few internet connection issues, which of course holds up the play heading through into Q3. But a good opportunity for those currently watching live to make your bets on who you think's on pole here. You've got to argue that the consistency would suggest that Perondi's got to be up there, but he's clearly not having the best qualifying so far. He's the 3rd fastest on the medium tyre. Another chat as well to think about exactly is the gap between 10th and 11th place actually. It's only a 10th and a half separating those from between the knockout and those that get through. So I think they'll be relatively happy with how close this whole band of people actually is at the moment. Actually less than 2/10 separating 10th and 12th place. And 3/10 separating 10th and 13th. So really close margins in this event. We're still just trying to battle a few technical issues as people just trying to get themselves out of a loading state. And then we'll be able to head through into Q3. You may be wondering then, PWW, what are we all about? Who are we as individuals? Well, you may be asking that question. PWW is more than just a little league event. It's, of course, familiar surroundings for a lot of people that might be familiar with the film Step Brothers. It's the infamous name the Catalina Wine Mixer event is heavily inspired by. Of course, big up those drivers that like to mess around a little bit whilst also having fun in an event that is awarding $500 worth of prizes. To learn more about PWW, of course, just contact PWW the Dude. I'm sure it'll be very handy to hand you some more information about what we are all about. As we're still waiting just for this Q3 session to get underway, it'll be a short pause whilst we try and understand the current situation. You can see just in the background the timer just ticking away as we head through now into Q3 for this Canadian Grand Prix. We've got 12 minutes of qualifying left in this event. Top 10 are now heading through now for the shootout for pole position. Answers on a postcard for who you feel is the favourite to win this one. So all the drivers very keen to just get out there straight away after that delay might have just phased them out a little bit. Power unit, back of the Red Bull. Last time that we'll be seeing Honda, of course, this year in real life Formula 1, they pull out of F1 at the end of this season, to which Red Bull powertrains will take on the power unit from there on in. Seaboy will be happy with his current performance at the moment though, despite arguably not being the fastest in Q2. Here because he is in second place at the moment. And he's only 9 points behind Perondi at the moment. So he'll be very keen, trying to set an example here. Of course, he is looking for a solid performance here. And that solid performance may just close down the gap on Perondi, who's just ironically overtaken. There's championship rival looking to try and close down that gap in the championship, take the top prize. And the Red Bull looking fairly clean through this first sector. He's doing the second now, and he's going to be taking a lot of curb actually, so he is making an first initial push. See how he's into 11. See already people already locking up, but not the Red Bull. Mod's doing a good job here. See how he does heading down the back straight. Bailey setting the initial 1 minute 8.8 as the clouds certainly suggesting it's getting a little bit overcast out there. Wondering if we might be coming to an early end of Q3 here due to potential rain. It is possible. This is the Canadian Grand Prix. He will come across the line with the preliminary pole, but not by much. Bailey beating him by just under half a tenth. See Danny Rick currently racing around at the moment the track without a front wings. Obviously had a bit of an incident. Here's Perondi. We're on board with the Haas driver looking to continue his form. The Haas looking fairly clean, if not quite gentle through there, looking maybe a slightly different approach maybe to mods in this first early stint of Q3. Brazilian taking a lot of curb actually, and a little bit of understeer actually going through into turn 10. Let's see how it goes into 11. Actually not so bad actually as the Haas driver. Again looking to try and continue on. Some good form. Good form. Following, currently leading the championship by 9 points over SC Boy at the moment, and Mod's looking to keep on to pole position. That's going to be very wide. Heading through the wall of champions, and Perondi knows that's going to be wide. He's not going to be setting a lap here, and he's certainly not going to be setting a lap on the next run as well. So Perondi has fallen foul of it as well. A few drivers have been struggling during this qualifying session with that incident, and I'm sure we're going to be seeing a few instances of that in the race as well. But we'll go on board with Marie. She continues her fairly recent rise in qualifying performance. She's doing quite well in qualifying. She just needs to find that consistency in the race. Hopping head through 4, not too bad. A little bit of understeer, perhaps just not able to catch the front end very well. Will take him through up on the curves with the DRS open as the Alpine. Going to take a lot of curb here, I suspect. She does exactly that, but she's invalidated, and this is going to be an issue that I have a feeling we're going to be seeing alongside the Wall of Champions. Just that little track extension at the top of that corner, and that's left her out of the running of setting a lap this time around. Perondi now back into the pits. It's Marie's teammate Clips looking to get going. Not the bad qualifying from him so far either. Oh, that's a big slide though. Very well caught. Very well caught indeed. Maybe a little bit, I think, at edge, shall we say, after that one. Here's Crispy though. I think you've probably got your favourite here for the pole position at the least, as the Williams is looking actually quite well at the moment. See, it's a new camera angle I've never seen before, I must admit. That's quite nice to see. Here comes the Williams though, he's about to start his lap now. And the number 88 looking to get going. You see he's favourite for pole position so far, set his fastest lap time on the medium tyre. And he was joint top with a driver on the soft. We expect he's going to be fairly crisp and sharp. Pardon the pun, none intended. And no surprise, purple sector in that first one. Heading through now. Long straight this one feels if you don't get it right. Looks like he's absolutely nailed it though. And again, a little bit off of the pace through there. You thought he just lifted just ever so slightly to catch a bit of understeer. I have a feeling he won't exactly be happy with that one. Luciano way fastest of anyone so far, 1 minute 8.6 for the Ferrari, looking fairly sharp. Crispy looking to beat that one though, fastest first sector of anyone so far. Things are going to potentially work out quite well here. He's actually taken that final corner. I thought that was a corner cut, but the game didn't think so. He's absolutely nailed it. P3 though at the moment, as he actually goes behind SC Boy by 11 thousandths of a second. Crispy knows he's got a little bit more pace in him than that. Fastest third and fastest third sector of anyone, but that second sector lap time was not the best out there by what seems to be by around about 3 or 4 tenths. So clearly there's more pace available in that Williams, and he'll be searching for it. Here's Mercedes of Shazam, who is absolutely demolishing all of the corners, to say the least. Okay, here he goes, just going through all these corners. He's cutting some grass here. And I have a feeling the reason why that they're doing that at the moment is just to get around the circuit so they can set a lap. Maybe an invalidation, I think, maybe at turn 4. Trying to think of where he could have invalidated it. We'll see. Here's Pironi, though, back on, following the Haas runner. Good runners, the Ural Kalai Haas F1 team. Second most amount of money taken at the moment in this event, $44. The fastest first sector of anyone. Might not be the fastest out there at the moment, but he's certainly setting the purple sectors at the moment. He looks to continue his consistency and continue his form at the top of the table. His nearest championship rival in second place at the moment, 9 points behind him. Red Bull of Mods SC Boy just took him behind. Slight missed apex, a little bit of a lock-up for the Haas as he just wants to continue. Third gear corner is turn 11 as he pile drives the accelerator pedal down this main straight. Did have a little bit of a cloud cover earlier, which might have cooled down the track a little bit, but the sun's back out again. And what seems to be a little bit of a conservative approach heading through that final corner. He'll come across the line, and it is P2. And he tucks in behind Luciano. Luciano looking like a little bit of an underdog in this particular race. Has set the track times alight with that 1 minute 8.6. He'll be happy with that one so far. Pirondi has managed to beat his teammate his nearest rival to the front row of the grid, but he is on an outlap at the moment as Mods SC Boy, and I don't expect Pirondi to be setting another lap here. Has got enough time to get round and have another go at this one now, so just keep an eye out on that one. Crispy also on an outlap as well. Oh, that's a bit of a mistake from Bailey. Got away with it though. Did bring the yellow flags out, but he's got away with it. Doesn't look like he's got any damage to the front of the Alfa Romeo, though the suspension won't be happy with him at the moment, that's for certain. He's not really pushing that hard either. I think he's sort of accepted that this lap is done and dusted. It's not happening. Number 30 of Lord Gamer. Looking, trying to get himself into 1 minute 8, see if he can. He'll come across the line now. He's done exactly that. 108.9. He hasn't improved on his position at the moment. He's still on the third row of the grid in 6th place. 300ths of a second down on Bailey, who's obviously just put it in the wall a little bit earlier on, looking to get going. Aston Martin understeering a little bit through 3. Time running out though in this Q3 session. So these will be the last lap times that we're going to see set, and that's an invalidation from Lord Gamer, so that's his qualifying over and done with. He's now on the 4th row of the grid. Danny looking to improve even further on his position at the moment. Number 12 already just a 10th down at the moment on his first sector lap time, so he may not be improving. Bailey, is he improving? He's not either. He's down just under a 10th on his fastest lap time as Chris Bate. Looking to try and improve on SC Boy and try and relegate him down to the bottom end of the second row of the grid. Very well taken. Final corner, the Mercedes powering it in the back of that Williams, powering him to the line as he goes on pole. With that 1 minute 8.3, what an absolute stonking lap time for the Williams, and I think that's absolutely shook Luciano, who has just spun it at the final corner. Pirondi's been caught out as well. So he'll be starting on the second row alongside Mods SC Boy, his co-compatriot in this championship. Luciano is on the second row as the Alpha Tauri has just come flying by and put it in a wall. I'm not sure if he's improved in his lap time. I did see a little change on the standing, so we'll take a quick look at the situation. And it was Danny Rick, and he has improved. He's actually on the front row now and beaten Luciano by 0.2 of a second. He's a 10th.5 down on Crispy, with Luciano, as I said, in 3rd place with that 1:08.6. Peronde comes across the line in 4th place with SC Boy in 5th. So they were sharing a place on the row. It would be 2nd row of the grid, but they've now been separated. Bailey in 6th with Lord Gamer in 7th, and the Homeboy Clips starting from 8th place in the Alpine. Shazam starts in 9th, and Marie not able to set a lap time alongside Shazam. They both start on the 5th row in 9th and 10th. Ultimately very close margins between those runners. And Crispy will be happy to take pole position, as this race is going to be getting going very shortly. We'll be back for the Canadian Grand Prix. Hello everyone, welcome back to PWW. This is Prestige Worldwide Racing, and we are here for the Catalina Wine Mixer event. This is round number 3 at Canada. This is Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Looking forward to being alongside you for this one. This is Jota for this live event here at the Canadian Grand Prix, and a very, very intense Canadian Grand Prix saw, qualifying rather, saw Crispy take that pole position. Danny Rick coming right at the death in the AlphaTauri to take a front row spot, beating Luciano to 3rd, who sits on the 2nd row alongside the Brazilian driver and the championship leader Peronde. FC Boy starts in 5th place with Bailey in 6th, Lord Gamer in 7th, and the Homeboy Clips in the Alpine, racing under the Canadian flag, starts in 8th place with Shazam in 9th and Marie in 10th. Both Shazam and Marie not able to set a lap time in Q3, and at the back, Silk Weaver electing not to improve on his lap time and starts in 11th place, and he's chosen to start on that medium tyre. Little Joker starts in 12th. El Dudurino, the dude, starts in 13th with Thor in 14th. No Limit, No EQL starts on the medium with Mers also starting on the medium, as well as Reskiller in 17th and Iron Fox starting at the back on the soft tyre in 18th place. The reconnaissance lap has just begun in this event, and we are expecting a one-stop race here today, though the two-stop is the predicted strategy by analytics by AWS. Another look at the tyre compound situation. You can see that everyone that managed to score in the top 7 starts on that medium tyre tonight. Clips, Shazam both decided to set a lap time on the soft tyre in Q2, so that's the tyre that will be starting on. Marie starting on the medium. So Weaver also choosing to start on the medium tyre, and it is a fresh set of mediums now, of course, for those from 11th or below. Soft tyres fresh for the for Little Joker and the Dude. Thor, No Limit, No EQL and Mers all starting on the medium, as well as we've already established with Reskiller and Iron Fox also on the soft tyre. And this is a circuit where we would expect that there's going to be a few sort of situations, shall we say, when it comes to strategy, because the medium to soft strategy is arguably the faster one, though this is a circuit where tyre degradation can be a problem, as Luciano disqualified from this session, as you have just seen a little collision, I believe, with the AlphaTauri of Danny Rick. Just saw him get disqualified as the Aston Martin of Lord Gamers absolutely flew by everyone. He's very keen to get going in this event. Iron Fox in the Alpine at the back, looking to get himself going. believe that's a Williams actually, is looking to get himself sort of going in this event. And he'll be right at the back, and he's quite a long distance as well, so there'll be a small pause as the drivers getting themselves ready for this Canadian Grand Prix. The drivers are lining up on the grid. And with those drivers lined up, we're counting down the lights. It's 1, it's 2, it's 3, and it's 4, and it's 5 lights. It's 5 lights, and they are a go. The drivers, here they are on the AlphaTauri. Danny Rick looking like he's had a very good start there, but Crispy's going to be covering it off, and he hasn't had a good start. The second phase has happened. Oh, and it's a spinner before we even get anywhere near turn 1, and Luciano's had to commit to a massive corner cut to try and avoid all of that worry. He's now down in P3 with Crispy in first, Danny Rick in second, and SC Boy in third. And there's already a big spinner, and that was Peronde, who ended up spinning. The championship leader has had an absolutely appalling start after Danny Rick having a very bad second phase to that start. Has seen Crispy able to really pull that gap, and he's already out of DRS territory before he even got going. Oh, that's a slide from Lord Gamer at the back there, and it looks like Bailey's going to be able to get the cut back here on the Aston Martin, but Aston Martin managing to hold his own here as he stays in fourth place at the moment, eclipsing Luciano, trying to get into the mix. And Luciano, what an appalling start for him. He's got invited all into that mix, and he's ended up getting into a horrible situation which has seen him cut all of turn 1 and turn 2, and he's got an immediate 3-second penalty as a result of it, which, if I'm sure the stewards will be able to take a look at it, may be a penalty removal on the cards here for the Ferrari runner. Here's the El Dorino, the dude just trying to get closer and closer to Little Joker, and an opportunity knocks potentially as they head towards the Wall of Champions, but he's not going to open that one up at the moment, as Crispy naturally taking the fastest lap of this race so far. Marie's up 3 positions as well, up to 7th at the moment. She's had a good start here as she just tucks in behind her teammate. Also up 2 positions is the other Alpine. Good work so far here as Shazam in the Mercedes also in the mix as well. He's down 1 position though arguably unfairly with that situation with Luciano. The dude is essentially pushing him around the circuit at the moment, but he's had a bucket load of understeer, I suspect, due to the dirty air. So No Limit New EQL is going to be looking down that inside line then as they head through into turn 7, turn 8. He's going to keep it close and steady as they go there, and El Dorino just holding his own quite nicely, but he's going to be spitting out a little bit wide here as they head through into turn 11, and he's going to have the outside line, which is the racing line. Here is the Aston Martin, so he's going to go around that outside line. He could be squeezed into the wall. I suspect he's probably not going to be as he gets off of the circuit, and I'm sure No Limit New EQL there is going to argue here that he was potentially forced off the circuit, because Silk Weaver's now coming around that inside line, and though El Dorino has tried to defend from No Limit No EQL, No Limit No EQL is not making any progress. He stays in 12th place as Silk Weaver's lost it up on the curb, and it looks to me as if he has hit the wall. He's going to have wing damage as he spins it back round, and hopefully not to interrupt there Iron Fox, who just manages to get around him as Crispy still leads this race here. And SC Boy looking to really capitalise here on an appalling start here for Peronde, making that early spin before he even got to turn 1. He's now down in 14th. SC Boy up to 3rd, and he's going to be taking the championship lead as it stands here. And he's going to be taking it by quite a large margin. Well, I say quite a large margin. It's not going to be that large at all. 4 points will be separating Mods SC Boy at the moment from Peronde, as Crispy has started to make some unforced errors. And a 3-second penalty already at his door here, and he's going to have to keep an eye out on that one, because although penalties will start coming, getting penalties that early on, especially when they're unforced, is not the kind of thing you want at the moment, especially with this very, very quick Red Bull Honda overtaking the AlphaTauri Honda. And he is now up to 2nd place, and stretching that gap as it stands at the moment to Peronde to 9 points at the moment, as Luciano, another 3-second penalty for him. I have a horrible feeling that this is basically how the race is going to go, as Mods SC Boy has put it into the grass and got an immediate 3-second time penalty himself. And we can see a lot of unforced errors from these drivers here tonight at Canada. Oh, he's done the same again. He's put it into the grass, and he spins the car right in front of everyone. And what is going to turn out to potentially be a fantastic race here for Mods SC Boy has now put him right back into the mix again. And Peronde is now in front of him, would you believe? A lot of drivers making some unforced errors here tonight, and the 2 front runners in this championship event are right now right at the back. Shocking stuff here at this Catalina wine mixer event. This is round number 3 at Canada. We've got 31 laps to go and we're already seeing so many incidents here. The DRS wide open for Luciano as he's looking to try and get past Clips, but himself currently in a bit of a battle here with Bailey, who himself is in a bit of a battle here for that final spot on the podium at the moment with Lord Gamer, albeit of course we still have plenty of racing to go here. Driver of the day currently folding for the Mercedes of Mers at the moment, up 6 positions here as the Aston Martin has gone very wide through turn 1. And he's going to do well to try and defend this one from Bailey, because he's going to have all of that grip on that outside line, and I think the Aston Martin just has to accept an F there. Accept an F and take an L. That wasn't the best bit of defending. Down that inside line of turn 1. As Bailey now leads that bit of a train here. Marie's also in the mix as well. Should be happy with her performance so far, up 3. She piles on overtake here, so she's looking a bit crisp and sharp here. Very well taken turn 11 actually, despite the late braking, still managing to make the end apex around the curb. Back on board with Bailey at the moment. He's see the train that's forming behind him. All of these drivers will be hungry for a podium here. Oh, Luciano looking down that inside line there of Clips. More 3-second time penalties being handed out. Looks to be turn 4 is the particularly the culprit at the moment. Oh, Marie just catching a good slide there, though, and Little Joker's going to be breathing down her neck here. Expect if she makes the same mistake here now at turn 8, she may end up being in a spot of bother, but she takes it steady, losing the rear, but catching it well. And actually getting a little bit closer to Little Joker's teammate, Luciano, on that particular run, who's very late on the brakes. This is the number 2 Ferrari. Arrow on top of the helmet, pointing in the direction where he needs to be. And he's not impartial to some spins, as we saw in qualifying. But very well handled for all of those incidents that happened at turn 1 on lap number 1. Crispy pulling out the gap now to 4 seconds on Danny Rick. Unforced 3-second time penalty falling in against Crispy at the moment though. Bailey's actually looking to sort of begin the close down here on Danny Rick at the moment. He's got all that clean air in front of him as Danny Rick, but he's not able to use it that well as more time penalties happening. I believe again that's a turn 4 issue. Would you believe after all of that, Perondi's now back up to the points. He'll be stretching out his lead in the championship to 11 as it stands. Well, specifically on SC Boy anyway. Crispy is slowly but surely bringing himself into contention of this championship with performances like this so far. And my man matching with the race numbers, Little Joker racing number 21. In P8 at the moment as he looks to continue on that closure and continue on this little train that's developing here now that Danny Rick is leading, because Bailey has just entered the DRS territory now of the Alpha Tauri in front of him. I'm fairly certain Danny Rick is going to know that he's going to be under some pressure here, because he's now in a train, or leading a train rather, that falls all the way down now as far as P8, though Peronde is slowly but surely gaining at the moment on those in front of him. He's 6.7 seconds back though on Little Joker at the moment. Bit of a lock up there as well from Danny Rick. He's missed his apex actually at turn 11, so the car is not going to get the best of exits there, and that's going to put Bailey in a position to again close down that gap. Now under 3/4 of a second. Now make that under half a second. They head through now to the Wall of Champions. As we have a car in the pits, Clips has decided to bail from this battle. Take a look at that situation with regard to tyres, and you can see actually it falls within their remit to make that pit stop, because of course this is now a set of soft tyres that are going to be quite considerably aged. What that does now is that pushes PWW Duderino now up to 10th place, but he is battling hard at the moment with the Mercedes of Mers. Perondi beginning to struggle already here, as we've got a few people struggling at the moment. Looks like through turn 4, looks like Thor may be struggling. SC Boy now up to 10th place here, but he's currently battling himself here, and he's actually losing some big positions here. He's down to 15th. What is happening to the man? And it looks to me as if he spun the car. The man was looking fairly sharp here, but a couple of spins now, and the Red Bull driver is really struggling out here at the moment. This is not what you'd expect from a championship runner-up so far. Who I think fairly knows here that he's going to need a safety car if he wants to have any retribution back on this race here. Danny Rick falling to just over 1/10 of a second in front of Bailey now, and I think he's going to know he's going to be under some pressure here. There's the Alpha Tauri. All they could do is continue to race hard and hope that the dirty air is going to affect the performance of the Alfa Romeo, but he's looking sharper and sharper with every corner as he takes so much curb through these corners, and Danny Rick has been caught out a little bit through there, and he's going to struggle here to defend from this one. If the Alfa Romeo looks to make the attack, he chooses not to, and you expect here that he's going to be putting under some pressure, but what a well-taken corner from the Alpha Tauri of Danny Rick, and Bailey is forced to use some overtake to try and hold on. Been a big lock-up from the Alpha Tauri, and I'm fairly certain here that the other Alpha, the Alfa Romeo, is going to make a bit of a mincemeat effort here on the Alpha Tauri Honda, who's now relegated to P3, and Bailey now is in second place and falls 5.5 seconds behind Crispy in this race on lap number 11 of 35, 24 laps to go. Luciano now back up to 4th place after that horrible start to this race, and Marie is still breathing down his neck at the moment. She's doing a good job. Lap 11:35, as I said, we've got another yellow flag out. I believe that might be for Lord Gamer on a fresh set of soft tyres, actually. Pardon me, don't think it is. I think it might be no limit now EQL, actually. Well, actually 10.5 seconds back at the moment on Marie. Just over 11 seconds back on Luciano at the moment. He's looking very good here to potentially put Danny Rick under some pressure here. Danny Rick, a little bit out of the sequence you'd suggest here. Doesn't quite have the pace here of Crispy, Bailey, Luciano, maybe even Marie at the moment, so he knows that he's in a very privileged position, and he has every right to defend it, of course, but so far not making the best effort really to defend. Through the Wall of Champions, puts that power down. Luciano again forced to try and close down that gap here. He wants to try put a car between him and Marie at the moment, who's looking fairly sharp. Time penalties really starting to become a problem now for these drivers here. We've barely got started really in this race, not even at half distance, and already 3 and 6 penalties, even 9 seconds at the moment for Luciano, though you could argue Luciano could be losing 3 of those seconds. That incident at turn 1 meant that he cut the corner completely to avoid any further collisions with anyone, especially after that large spin from BRL Perondi, currently down in 12th place at the moment. And would you believe, a second back on Mods SC Boy, as Danny Rick has lost it on the curb, and we knew he'd be under some pressure. And the Alpha Tauri was under some pressure to hold on, and he just lost it under his own accord here, as No Limit No EQL is looking to close down that gap here. He knows he's got a slow car in front of him. He's not going to be able to find the time to get past him on this particular occasion, but the Alpha Tauri is going to have incredibly hot tyres at the moment, so he's going to be struggling as the tyres just cool down on the circuit. What it does mean, though, is that Marie has now been promoted up to P4. Luciano's back on the podium, but those 9 seconds worth of penalties, albeit 3 of them may be removed, is certainly not helping his case at the moment. As No Limit No EQL has now managed to make the overtake on Danny Rick, and that's because he, I believe, has come into the pits. Correct me if I'm wrong, no, he has come into the pits, and it is a fresh set of soft tyres going on with a fresh front wing. After that mistake, what a shame there for the Alpha Tauri. Actually, he was doing quite well as Perondi on the fresh set medium tyres. Fastest lap of this race now. The Haas driver will be earning a couple of points as it stands at the moment. The German driver, Marie, looking fairly sharp here. A little bit on the grass there, actually. Might just lose the apex a little bit, and that's what she's done. Luciano locking up a little bit, though. This is a spot for the podium. Falling in the favour of Marie quite well at the moment. Those 9 seconds, again, albeit 3 may be removed. Falling well against Luciano at the moment. The flag's waved at the moment. I believe the Alfa Romeo is looking fairly certain, and it's because we have a virtual safety car that's actually just come out. Amazingly enough, we're still with all 18 runners at the moment. So all the drivers looking fairly sharp, but the virtual safety car could be falling very nicely for those on the medium tyres that are just yet to make their pit stops here, because they're going to be losing about half of the time that they usually would do. Luciano and Marie going to be falling quite in favour here. Clips is going to be coming out in front of them, I believe, on these medium tyres, but he's going to have to slow down to try and catch up here. Maybe might be missing out here, and he has done actually. He's missed out massively here. Marie on a set of medium tyres here. Luciano got onto a set of hard, so he's going to the end of this race here, as VSC is out. Drivers just getting themselves ready for pit stops all around the field. No Limit No EQL, soft tyres for him. Perondi stayed out on the same set of medium tyres that he pitted on 4 laps ago. Well, Desi Boy just leaving the pits as well, fresh set of soft tyres for him. So he's looking to bounce back here. Clip's just tucking in behind Marie at the moment, but just in front of her is Luciano, but he is on an old set, on a fresh set of hard tyres, so not going to be the fastest. We do go green again. Oh, Marie's going to drive through penalty. Speeding under the virtual safety car. We're going to see a few issues with this one here. Let's take a look and see if anyone else was caught out. Oh, her teammate was as well. Alpine have had an absolute shocker. Both of the runners are going to be going through a drive-through penalty for their own doing here. Speeding under the virtual safety car is such an awful thing to do, especially if you just miss out on it, because you're going to lose so much time. 20 seconds worth of penalties, essentially 25 at a circuit like this, because of course you're in there with a slower speed limit, and Marie and Clips are going to fall down the field like they've had basically a pit stop with a front wing change. It's the amount of time basically that they're going to lose, plus the half amount of time that they lost under the safety car for pitting in the first place. What a shame. What it does mean though is that we've got 2 drivers in front, Crispy and Bailey, who are yet to make their pit stops. The virtual safety car falling out of favour for them. Luciano is the first runner of those who could potentially go to the end of this race. He is on a set of hard tyres to the end, though we expect 2 stops to be a thing here. Perondi certainly on a 2-stop. Joker maybe as well. Shazam certainly is as well in the Mercedes. As the race leader and pole position sitter, Crispy has decided to come into the pits now, and he's now on a set of soft tyres. The Williams garage is quite close to the exit though, so he's going to be hoping he could try and beat Luciano here. This is going to be quite crucial because it's soft versus hard tyres, and he has come out in front of Luciano, which is going to be massively beneficial for tyre performance more than anything, because even if he did fall behind Luciano, a race potentially to get past him, as horrible as that might sound for Crispy, would be the only way he could win this race. Well, Desi Boy, fastest lap of the race, a good bounce back so far, but currently in P14 at the moment, so he's not even going to take the point for the fastest lap at the moment, but he is racing to continue. To try and close down the gap on Perondi, but a couple of spins for the Red Bull runner after Perondi's awful start at the beginning of this race. Costing him big time. We're halfway through though. Just a little bit under halfway through. Lap 16 of 35. Do not expect any person that's pitted for the soft to go to the end of this race. A two-stop is a possibility. But he absolutely has to try and find 20 seconds on Luciano, and that is going to be a hard task in around about 8 to 10 laps. This intense race as we have a spinning car at the moment, trying to figure out who that one is. Is that Perondi? It's not Perondi, is it? It is Perondi! And the championship leader again falls flat and spins the car, and again we're seeing a lot of drivers struggle and making unforced errors here at the Canadian Grand Prix tonight, but the front two are having an absolute stinker of a race so far. As Perondi is now stuck behind the lagging car of Stilt Weaver, who's still yet to make his pit stop here, and he's got two very quick drivers on soft tyres looking to get past, so Perondi will want to get past this one done soon, and he's done exactly that. I'm fairly certain Lord Gamer's also going to want to make the move as well, but he's looking for it, and the gap isn't there. He's going to lose a little bit of time as he just tucks in behind Stilt Weaver, and he's not pushing, and Weaver's pushing the overtake button to stay out alongside, but Danny Rick is looking fairly sharp as they're going 3 wide through turn 11. This is going to be tight around that outside line, and Lord Gamer's made that one work to make him essentially a double overtake on at turn 11. That's familiar territory. Nice to see that one again, but Stilt Weaver's looking fairly sharp. Try to bounce back on Danny Rick, but not at this corner, and he's going to lose time here because he's going to get caught in all that dirty air, and Mods SC Boy behind will be very happy to sweep up any mistake that happens with his teammate in front. More continuing battling here as Crispy's now up to 5 seconds behind Luciano, his teammate Little Joker. Looking to try and close the gap on Bailey at the moment, but Bailey will have to say I'm on fresh soft tyres here, and I'm going to make it very mincemeat here of Luciano, who's going to have DRS though on a lapped car in front of him. Don't expect any overtake happening just here as Iron Fox is going to get out of the way, because he is, despite being a ghost, going to give a tow here to the Ferrari who's got DRS. And weirdly enough, Iron Fox is not getting out of the way actually. To argue, he does have to give up the position despite the fact he's ghosted. He has to slow down and give it up here. He may impede the Ferrari, and that's exactly what's happened because Bailey has gone around that outside line and overtaken Luciano, who I think didn't really want to fight him too hard because his main goal is to win this race, and to do that you don't want to fight and lose time to Crispy. He knows Bailey, and he knows Crispy still need to make another pit stop. Luciano wants to go to the end of this race. There's actually smart racing here from the Ferrari. Towards the midfield at the moment, we've still got some very intense battling here as Shazam. Currently in a bit of a battle with Marie at the moment. And Shazam's actually having a good race here, actually. Has been bouncing back hard from what was not the best qualifying for the Mercedes. The Renault power unit in the back of the Alpine looking very, very quick here. Not on the power so quickly it is Marie, but on the overtake button is very quick indeed as she goes down that inside line, and she'll make the overtake on Shazam. She's now up to 5th place. And you could argue she could potentially go to the end of the race here as well. 20 laps on the medium tyres is not out of the ordinary. It will be a bit of a push. All drivers currently struggling towards the back here. Lord Gamer now in for his second and final stop of this race. He's on a set of mediums. Good work here though from No Limit Nearly QL, closing down the gap on Shazam. With the DRS open, looking to make the move now. suspect around that inside line it was going to be sort of easy pickings here, but Shazam is not going to give up just yet. You think he's probably going to be doing another 3 to 5 laps before he comes on for a set of soft tyres, unless he's doing another medium stint. We'll see what another Mercedes does anyway. He's lost a couple of positions in the last lap or so, so he'll be wanting to make a decision about what he wants to do. He is staying out. He will have DRS on No Limit, No EQL, who does not have DRS on Marie at the moment, who's having a good race herself here. Luciano in 7th. And his current interval at the moment to the leader is actually 8 seconds, so Crispy not pulling the gap he really needs here. He'd have hoped it'd have been around about 15 to 17 seconds, maybe 20 seconds if he's happy, if he's lucky enough here. We have a little bit of a timing glitch issue. Now it's been fully resolved. We can see the situation there. Yeah, current situation at the moment with that leader is now 8-second gap for Luciano is going to be fairly good, I think, for the Ferrari. Although the guys behind him will be on faster tyres, they've got to try and find, as it stands at the moment, around about 12 seconds if they want to take the victory off Luciano, and I'm fairly certain he knows that he's got the grip as well as the longevity of the hard tyre. Especially with someone who's going to now just keep consistent laps churning out. All he needs to do now is just keep doing what he's doing. Well, a little bit faster than that though at the moment, as he now falls to 9 seconds behind Crispy. Sam's still holding on to the back of No Limit, No EQL at the moment as well. He's going to have DRS here, but he's been struggling a little bit in the dirty air of the Aston Martin. You can certainly see. Going out of DRS territory, coming back into it again. See how he does now through 7 and 8. That hits in 9 rather, and he's still actually got DRS, but only just on the Aston Martin down that long straight, so he'll be doing a late break to try and hold on. He does lock up, but actually makes the apex quite nicely. And not so quick on the power as well, but No Limit, No EQL is going to begin to struggle on these soft tyres fairly soon. They are 8 laps old, so I have a feeling both of these drivers are going to be pitting fairly soon. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's late on the brakes, and that is such a shame, as he speeds into the pit lane going backwards. And that is the awful situation of a driver looking to enter the pit lane while one is braking on the said line to just make the corner, and that is bitterly disappointing stuff for Shazam, who, to be quite candid, really should have known better. And to go in with such haste like that, knowing there's a car in front who's going to be approaching the corner quite slowly, and actually Shazam has chosen to retire at his own accord here, so I think he's sort of kicking himself a little bit there. He knows he's better than that. Anyway, he's out of this race, round number 3 at Canada. I will be disappointed with that one at the moment. Nearly 10 seconds the gap between Crispy and Luciano at the moment as he continues on, trying to build that lead and trying to build it in the hope he might be able to make a pit stop and stay out in front there, as he's just having to get around, I believe, the retired car of Shazam. Quite close, that one as well. The dude just getting out of the way, doing as you should do under blue flags. He's now lapped by the leader. Those interested as well, next week we've got more intense battles happening at China, the Chinese Grand Prix at Shanghai. Same time as usual, 5 Eastern, 4 Central for that particular battle. Just be continuing to close down that gap though. 11 laps to go. As he continues to stretch out that lead, now falling above 10 seconds against Luciano. Is he going to make that pit stop this lap? We'll see. He's not. He's staying out a little bit later. He'll be keeping a very firm eye on the situation with Bailey as well, because of course he doesn't have a time penalty, does the Alfa Romeo, and he'll be happy about that situation, because he'll know if he keeps that consistency going, he could actually take the victory out of Crispy's hands if the pits all work out well with him on the virtue of time penalties, especially if they match on strategy. Bailey. Another moment for him. Bailey earning some good prize money at the moment. The Alfa Romeo taking a good chunk of money actually out of the prize pot so far in this Catalina wine mixer event. Taking a total of $15 at the moment in this event. Really some good money here as well after this one as it stands at the moment. Might be taking the victory of the race. Is actually starting to close down on Crispy at the moment. And I'll take another look at the leader standings at the moment. Gap now falling to 11 seconds. At the moment, Luciano, assuming Crispy and Bailey were to pit right at this second, they'll be falling around about 7 seconds in front. Crispy and Bailey at the moment. 9 seconds worth of penalties, and again, albeit 3 seconds may be removed after that tumultuous situation at turn 1. As Crispy now 6 seconds worth of penalties. Again, a lot of unforced errors falling here for the front runners. And Bailey's surely going to be smiling ear to ear here as Mods SC Boy getting the fastest lap of the race. He's now going to be taking 5 points with him. And Perondi's going to be taking 1. That gap is going to shrink as Luciano 12 seconds worth of penalties for that track extension, as you just saw there. It's fairly certain, even if the 3 seconds are removed, that's 9 seconds. His race may be over here. The only person with more time penalties, even with a 3 second potential removal, is actually Lord Gamer, currently on 14 seconds worth of penalties at the moment. I suspect that's 3 track extensions and a 5 second time penalty in the pit lane. Bailey is seriously closing down the gap here to Crispy. I think Crispy is well aware here that there's a real possibility he could be losing the race here as a result of time penalties. And he's now taken a different approach to this race, maybe being a little bit more calmer than he really should be. More incidents happening here as Marie is actually coming into the pit lane, and she is switching over now to a set of soft tyres to the end of this race, and she'll come out just be in front of Mods SC Boy, which is going to be extremely crucial for her here. And she'll want to try and close down the gap on Little Joker. Fresh set of soft tyres here versus a reasonably fresh set of mediums. Over the DRS Open. We'll try and stay in front of Mods SC Boy at the moment. Little track extended there as Crispy has now come into the pits. We suspect it'll be another set of soft tyres now to the end of this race. We'll see what happens. That's exactly what is happening. We're still following Marie at the moment, as she does get past Joker. 10 points in the bag now for the Alpine. There's a 30-second gap separating No Limit, No EQL from Crispy at the moment, despite the fact that he has now just come out of the pit. He'll now be relapping PWW 4. And he now leads this race, and he knows that he hasn't really got that much of a challenge here. So Crispy's now around about 5 seconds behind Luciano on these hard tyres. Remember, those hard tyres he pitted on at lap 14. He's looking to take to the end of this race with 7 laps to go in this Canadian Grand Prix. Still battling hard here with Little Joker here. Little Joker getting past on these reasonably fresh medium tyres versus the old soft tyre. that he still needs to make a pit stop on here, and you can certainly say there's no grip on that one. Losing the rear very harshly. I have to say, no QL now down to 6th place, and well, struggling as he goes through turn 11. You see the hairpin there. He's potentially got some more action just behind, actually. As Bailey has now pitted for a set of soft tyres at the end of this race now. Boy also looking for it as well. That's quite close. He knows that he should have had a lot more points than what he thinks. Well, he's going to get. But he's only going to get the points that he deserves here. And he's going to go down that inside line, try and cover off the inside line. Will Danny Rick, but around that outside and fresh soft tyres and the racing line for the Red Bull is going to give him the opportunity as they both collide going through it to turn 4. Danny Rick takes that position right back out of the hands here, but SC Boy is going to have more grip here. The Red Bull looking. Side line, have they collided going through that corner? And I am fairly certain there's going to be conversations happening between the Red Bull and the AlphaTauri team after that one, because Mods SC Boy, that's his 3rd spin of this event. He should be taking big points away from Peronde, and now he's going to be completely out of the running here to close down the gap on Peronde, and Peronde is going to be extending his lead in the championship once again after what will look like he was going to be closing down the gap to just 5 points. It looks like Peronde is going to be gaining a lot more than the 9 that he originally had. Danny Rick is going massively wide off of the circuit, and I suspect that is due to maybe an issue at the moment, as he has no front wing at all after that particular incident. I'm sure SC Boy may have some side pod damage, if indeed that is a thing, but he is a virtual safety car, and that is a wiggle of disgust, I think, against the AlphaTauri. All of the drivers making their pit stops now to change under the virtual safety car. A lot of drivers electing to do that one at the moment. Peronde chooses not to at the moment. Marie also chooses not to. It's a fresh set of softs for her at the moment. It's definitely a wiggle of complete disgust, as Danny Rick has actually chosen to retire by the looks of things from this session. I suspect after that incident with SC Boy, he's just maybe is holding his hands up saying, sorry, that's my doing. Gonna be interesting to see, but we do go green again here at Canada, and we do have a drive-through penalty again being handed to people for missing their marker here. There's only one being handed out, and it's gone to PWW Reskiller in 16th place at the moment, lapped a couple of times I believe. I'll be happy with that one at the moment. Well, this man right here, Luciano, will be hoping there'll be more of those virtual safety cars to be handed out, because at the moment he's taking the victory here tonight, albeit with time penalties added on, he's going to be losing it, and he'll be losing it to Bailey as it stands. There he knows his race. His race win is under his grasp here. He's got one hand on the first place trophy. Just needs to go to the end of this race now, keep it clean. Mods SC Boy is retired from this race. It looks like he's actually retired in the pit lane, and that looks to me another rage quit from this race. Very hard against Mods as well, to be fair. He's had the consistency and the pace all the way through this race, but minor slip-ups have resulted in big accidents, and one of them against Danny Rick, who also chose to retire the previous lap as well. Fairly certain there's going to be big conversations between them two. Try and discuss what happened. Crispy will be taking an extra point for fastest lap here. Takes a 2 yellow flags wave. I believe that is for the medium tyre runner of Iron Fox, who's now falling 1 minute and 23 seconds back from Thor. And Reece Skiller has now just overtaken him for P15. The gap really starting to fall now, Luciano. I'll have to admit, one stop is not the fastest strategy around Canada. On this particular occasion, soft, medium, soft is definitely the way to go. Crispy has got that fresh set of soft tyres that is just going to help him out big time here. And he makes the overtake on the hard tyre runner, Luciano. Bailey will be looking to get past as quick as he possibly can. Make sure he doesn't lose time to Crispy. Crispy will not be happy with that one. He'll have wanted Bailey to stick behind Luciano and try and pull that gap. It's not going to happen here. .33 of 35, 2 laps to go. Well, currently battling at the moment between 8th and 9th place at the moment. A couple of points separating them too. On board with the Williams of Hefore Crispy at the moment. Oh, that's a big lock-up. He's certainly feeling that pressure at the moment. He knows he's got those time penalties. He knows that this race has been lost. He knows that that's going to be the potential factor here. And he'll have to hold his hands up. They're his own mistakes. He was under unforced pressure. There was no pressure around him. And he got those 6 seconds here. But Bailey may be looking to actually make the move on Crispy and take the victory on circuit. And take the victory at his own accord here. Because he is looking fairly sharp at the moment, is the Alfa Romeo. Bailey now with 3 seconds worth of penalties. It's not going to affect him in the slightest at the moment. He'll be very keen to make sure that he monitors that though, because he will be racing with Crispy if he gets another one here. There's the current situation at the moment. Tyres don't matter. They're both going to the end of this race, and they're both reasonably the same age here. I think 1 lap separating Crispy from Bailey at the moment, and falling in favour of Bailey. Surely Bailey is going to want to make the move stick here, as Crispy's just weaving on the circuit. I'm fairly certain they may be having a conversation at the moment, just weaving around and having a bit of a laugh and joke here. I think they are well aware as they enter the final lap of this race here that the Alfa Romeo, Bailey, who's going to be looking for the move, is going to go down that inside line. He'll have the outside line versus Crispy, and it's going to be the better corner to have the grip, and Bailey takes the lead of this race on the final lap. He hasn't had the lead of this race under his own merit without pit stops at any point in this race. He's taken it on the final lap, but the time penalties are not going to really matter here for Crispy. He knew he weren't going to take victory tonight, and he's just going to have to hope that Bailey makes a mistake on his own accord here. He's going to just get out of the way as Crispy another 3-second time penalty, as that really just does seal the deal here for the Williams driver. It's going to be second place for him at the moment, as the Haas driver of Riskilla is just going to get out of the way. And would you believe that the only person that's going to get away without time penalties in this race is going to be Iron Fox and Perondi. Either way, Riskilla might just get out of the way here as he pile drives into the wall. The Alfa Romeo of Bailey has kept it clean all the way through this race. He wins the Canadian Grand Prix with Crispy in second place. Luciano comes across the line in third, but those 12 seconds worth of penalties may cause him some harm here, as Marie actually might just be missing out here. She does have a 3-second time penalty. Luciano is going to keep P3 even with the 12 seconds worth of penalties. The 3-second penalty that he might need to get removed won't matter in the end. He keeps the podium with Little Joker, his teammate, taking a good haul of points. Well, Ferrari actually 25 of them between them. Perondi in the end with time penalties applied comes across the line and will finish in 6th place and extend his lead in the championship by another 8. That's specifically against Mods SC Boy, of course, had that incident with Danny Rick. Of course, he may not be the person that he is going to be versing with anymore after taking nil points tonight. But fairly certain Mods SC Boy is going to be having a solid conversation with people, as Mers is going to be, I think, looks of things, reversing over the line with no front wing as well. Either way, the victory and the Victor of tonight's race goes to this man in the Alfa Romeo. It is Bailey who wins tonight's race at the Canadian Grand Prix. Solid race that from a lot of the field. Little Joker will take the driver of the day. Most positions gained in this race. We'll head over to the podium ceremony, and of course it will be the top step of the podium for Bailey in the Alfa Romeo, taking it on the final lap of this race. But time penalties won't have mattered. He takes it on merit instead, and he'll take a solid 25 points in the championship as well. Good race for Alfa Romeo, and a great race, as I said, for Ferrari. The American runner finishing in third place, Luciano, and his teammate finishing in fifth. That's 25 points for them as well. I believe it is Crispy with the fastest lap of this race, though. He'll take an extra point as well. There's an opportunity now just to take a look at the final results of this race here at the Canadian Grand Prix, and it is a top step for Bailey with Crispy in second. Luciano finishes in third. Little Joker, fastest driver, well, quick driver that gets the most amount of position in this race, finishes in fifth.
I was back there, like, I hate this track.
Aldo just having a chat with those in the background, and a great race indeed, he says. As all the rest of the fielders will have a quick look at the final results as well. Perondi finishes in sixth as he gains in the standings, with Lord Gamer in seventh, Clips in eighth. Silkwaver will be happy in the end with 9th place, I believe, from 11th, with No Limit No EQL up in taking that final point. Mers finishes in 11th with the Dude finishing in 12th, with Thor finishing in 13th, Rescaler in 14th, and towards the back Iron Fox in 15th. And of course that incident between Danny Rick and Mods FC Boy is going to be one of controversy, with Shazam finishing in 18th as well. All of those drivers DNFing from this race. It was a very, very intense race indeed. We are going to be back next week once again for round number 4 of the Catalina Wine Mixer event, and we are going to be hosting at the amazing track at Shanghai, the Chinese Grand Prix. I hope you could tune in for that one, but for myself and the rest of the team here at PWW Prestige Worldwide Racing, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye for now.